the moment.
We find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Eyelids fluttering and trying to breathe, she says nothing. Jennifer Crumbley behind bars since her son committed an atrocity at Oxford High School.
I feel that this verdict is going to echo throughout every household in the country.
Certainly a victory for all those in Oxford who have suffered so, but a somber one. As one parent told us tonight, this isn't a celebration, but it is one step toward accountability for a community that's been fighting ever since that terrible day to see it. That tops the news here at 10. Good evening. I'm Damon Fernandez in for Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. It's a trial we've been watching very closely, and it's come down to a historic verdict. Mara McDonald has been covering this case since the start. She's live at the Oakland County Courthouse tonight. Mara, there's a verdict, but there's a whole lot more to come.
Kimberly, there sure is. For starters, every legal expert we've talked to says that Jennifer Crumbley is, of course, going to appeal this verdict. That's number one. Her husband's trial is up next. That starts in March. Then you take it back to Oxford. There are still so many parents who want that school district to atone. Add on top of that a series of civil lawsuits that are hanging in the balance.
We find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
In the end, Jennifer Crumbley told jurors she took no responsibility for what her son has done and didn't see what she could have done differently. A jury, after a day and a half of deliberating, didn't buy it. The jury foreperson telling us the 9mm handgun they bought their son days before the shooting was the linchpin.
The thing that really hammered it home is that she was the last adult with the gun.
The gun that wasn't safely secured, the gun the Crumbleys never told the school he had access to, the gun he was looking up ammo for, and the gun sitting in the backpack no one at the school thought was important to look at, despite his violent drawings, hallucinating, and other troubling behavior. In other words, what the prosecutor presented to them as gross negligence on Jennifer Crumbley's part. Parents like Greg Schilling, Justin's dad, were in the courtroom listening as the verdict was read.
I'm happy with the verdict, even though it's still a sad situation to be in. It's got to stop. Everything that's going on, we have to address everything, and the root cause. Everybody involved. It's accountability, and this is what we've been asking for a long time.
There is no joy, but somber relief.
There's nothing here to be happy about. We can be glad that the jury came back with the verdict that they did, but it's never. This whole situation is sad. It's just sad.
Parents view what happened today as a step, and a long overdue one at that. Attorney Van Johnson, who is representing several of the parents in civil suits against the school district, agrees.
It's a major second step along the way, but we have a third step with Mr. Crumbley, and then we have two more steps with the civil cases, one in state court, one in federal court. So we have a multi-step process. So it's one of many, but one at a time. It is a good day.
Back here live, also a good day for Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald. Crumbley is set to be sentenced on April 6th. We're live at the Oakland County Courthouse tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Mara, and before you go, you've spoken to a lot of Oxford parents over the last 2 years. How did they take the Crumbley's testimony on the stand?
It was interesting, Kimberly. I was texting back and forth with some of them during this whole process, and I think they were torn between incredulity. I think they were absolutely stunned that she took no responsibility for any of this. But at the same time, I think for most of them, it was a real gut punch at the same time. When Jennifer Crumbley was asked, what could you have done differently here? Is there anything that what could you have changed? And she essentially said no. I think that they had a visceral, physical response to that.
Sure.
I think it absolutely flabbergasted them.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Absolutely gut-wrenching. Okay, Mara, we appreciate your report. And tomorrow morning at 6:30, our Local 4 morning team will be joined live by a legal expert to talk about the Crumbley verdict and what it means for James Crumbley and his trial, and what this verdict could mean for parents of school shooters moving forward.